Uh, Welcome everybody to a new episode of General Geekery. Last time we talked about the DTC line, and there was a couple of things that there's two things. The one thing that JD wanted to do, and one thing that I wanted to do on the last podcast, and it didn't get done. The one thing that I wanted to do was JD sent me a Marauder Task Force Valkyrie figure with the challenge to make it a. Oh, and by the way, as always, I'm joined with JD.
Hello.
Yeah.
It happens. I would have shown up eventually on there. So
Exactly. So I had the blank figure in hand, and I wanted to say that JD sent me the figure with the specific challenge that I had to make a female Mega Viper.
I would have sent it even if you had another idea, but I was intrigued what you do with the Mega Viper.
So yeah, that's what I did, and let me show you the result.
Look
so
at
here's the result.
Loud, crazy ass masterpiece.
Well, it gets better because I didn't go into all the specific things that it has and it does. So thanks to JD and previous guest Sean Grogan, I bought magnets, rare earth magnets.
Yes.
Excellent. Her backpack is the 25th anniversary lamprey backpack.
That's why that looked familiar. Yes, magnets.
And it's magnetized. So that comes off.
That's phenomenal.
I'm using one of the Tron heads.
Is that what that's from? Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed.
And that comes off, not real easily, but
General Geekery, folks.
Yeah. And then has an interchangeable head. I didn't Dremel this one out too well. And then since JD's a huge fan of Shield, I used a cast of the 1/18 scale Maria Hill head.
I don't remember them making a 1/18 scale Maria Hill.
She only came with the Helicarrier playset.
Oh, of course she did, because nobody would want that figure by itself on a card. No, right. Of course not. Yes, let's put it with this ridiculous playset with a giant cost, because, people don't buy action figures based on chicks. What a load of crap.
Right. And then I'm not going to push it all the way down, but her body armor is removable too.
Dude, that is so fucking cool.
And I mean, she's got the little thing from the Pursuit of Cobra beachhead, and it plugs into.
Nice.
It just slides into the side of her body armor to make it look like it plugs in.
I'm a fan of your work. I always have been, but I don't even know if I could narrow down a list of favorite customs you made, but that's definitely in the top somewhere-ish, because, dude, those colors are ridiculous, and
right?
You made it look easy.
And it was a pain in the ass. All this yellow, I would not have attempted this had I not had an airbrush. So there you go.
That's fantastic. I am, like I said, you knocked that shit out of the park.
So that was the first thing that I was the one thing that I wanted to do was to announce the challenge, and then I got the figure done in like a day because I already had it planned out. So I had the head assembled before the figure even came here. The interchangeable the masked head, I had that put together before I even got the figure, and I knew what parts I wanted for it. So it took me like an hour to assemble, and then the rest of the day to paint it.
I would say another 12, 13 minutes to paint it up and make it look awesome. So,
right, because I ended up throwing out a whole thing of paint, yellow paint, because it pissed me off.
What brand of paint did you end up going with?
I ended up using Citadel paint, and I used flat glitz yellow.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the pink is the same pink that I used on your Night Creeper version 2 Night Creeper, and that's Vallejo Magenta.
All right, yeah, that custom, dude. That's badass. Although, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time where one of your female troopers actually happened without you having done a male version of it, correct?
No, I have never done a male version of the Ice Viper.
Okay, all right, yeah, you're right, you haven't. So
Let's see. If you can't see it, unfortunately, but the whole second row of my customs back here are all female. I call it my bad girl line, my bad girl row. It's
that
all,
works.
yeah, it's all. Well, Firefly's still up there. Because I haven't carded her yet, but it's all female versions of Cobra troopers. Let's see. I've done an eel. Cobra Night Stalker, that doesn't count because that's a female figure to begin with.
Right.
I have done a Heat Viper. I have, what is that? That is a Range Viper. I've done a Range Viper. Ice Viper, yeah, I haven't done an Ice Viper. Iron Grenadier, I'm sure I've done an Iron Grenadier. I know I've done a Snow Serpent because that was one of my first 25th anniversary.
I was going to say, you did a couple of those for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Techno Viper, I don't think I've ever done a Techno Viper custom. I might have done a Techno Viper Immortal.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, so still counts.
Frag Viper, I definitely did a Frag Viper. Alley Viper, I've done Alley Viper customs before, and Saw Viper, yeah, I've done Saw Viper customs before. So yeah,
well,
so close.
Folks, having seen those customs in person hanging on that wall, well, first of all, obviously, it's super impressive. Of course it is. But what struck me, what's one of my favorite aspects of your female Cobra trooper
Line?
Yeah, sure, series, whatever, is that even the ones that you've already done a male version, you're not doing the same version.
Yes, exactly.
Like your Saw Viper, your original Saw Viper custom is very much the original Saw Viper.
Yeah, it's purple and it has night vision, and he's got the steady cam gun instead of a regular gun, and yeah, with the DTC version. And I have never done a version 1 color scheme Alley Viper.
Exactly. And so your Saw Viper is a classic Saw Viper. Your new Saw Viper is a DTC version, yeah. And it's really just cool to see that you're not replicating what you've already done with the different parts, but you're also paying tribute to the multiple visions that Hasbro has had of these characters over the years. So you're tackling some of the more obscure versions. You know what? On that note, there's a custom that Brian had sitting on his work table that he was never going to finish. And while I was there, I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, God, I fucking love this thing. So he gave it to me to actually finish. He had it. It's a heavy Alley Viper. He had it started as an Alley Viper version 1, but I'm finishing it up, and
nice.
It's the I'm basing it on
pull it back a little bit. There you go, right there.
Yeah, I'm basing it on the 1994 Alley Viper version 3 from the Real American Hero line.
I like that color scheme better.
Yeah, and I mean, basically all I did, I paint wiped it with some metallic paints, give it a little bit of shine, and it's a more simplistic look for the Alley Viper, but it was one that always kind of struck me as a cool idea that they couldn't quite recapture the previous magic. So that's just about done.
It's funny you should put it in such terms, because that's exactly what I couldn't. That's the second heavy, like, exosuit armor that I figured that I made, because I made one for a Night Viper, which is my, like, all-time favorite Cobra trooper. And I couldn't get it with my Alley Viper, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm never gonna finish this because I painted it and reprimed it, and painted it and reprimed it, painted and reprimed it so much that it was starting to lose detail. And when it starts to lose detail in the sculpt, I'm done.
Yeah, and see, for me, for one, I don't really notice the lack of detail, but it was just the image of it, and really, here, I'll just showcase. It's got these weapons.
Flip up the visor and show them what it does under the visor.
You kidding me? I didn't realize the visor flipped up. I haven't moved it. I haven't. Oh, sweet. I haven't even done this. Well, for one, I like that you used the Serpentor helmet and not just an Alley Viper helmet. You just added the base shield from the. Oh, sweet! I did not realize that it did this.
Yeah, it has the chrome. It has the chrome faceplate.
Oh, is that from a Viper? Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
dude, I didn't realize it did that. That's so cool. Yeah. I hadn't tried to lift it. I didn't know if it was glued down or something.
No,
so
I articulated the visor on the Serpentor helmet.
Well, sweet. So yeah, this thing's pretty badass. I love the shoulder-mounted War Machine style armaments. I'm calling it an AIM. What did I say? An AIM Advanced Idea Mechanics. The AIM Heavy Alley Viper model number AV93 as a tribute to the source. But nice. In my Joe-verse, the Marvel Universe does play a role, and so Cobra, especially once Destro went off to start the Iron Grenadiers, they had to get their contracts for weapons and tech somewhere else.
Right.
So they tried Hammer Tech, but well, we've seen how Hammer Tech works out. It doesn't. Right. So some of Cobra's jankier ideas, yeah, I can blame that on Hammer Tech. And then the good stuff, we can use AIM for that.
So. Yeah, no, I think that works perfectly. I think that's an excellent idea, is having AIM provide tech and weapons for Cobra. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
that was the stuff that I wanted to do last week that didn't get put in.
Excellent.
Stuff that JD wanted to do. He wanted to start a regular segment to see if I could stump him on file names, like the real life personal names of the G.I. Joe figures from the Real American Hero line. So that's what we're gonna do.
As terrible as I tend to be with people's names in real life, I'm better with last names than I am with first names. You give me a list of first names and I don't know why though, but for some reason with the G.I. Joe line, since I was a little kid, their file names, never a problem for me to memorize. There are definitely going to be times where he is going to stump me, but there's other times where Brian's just going to be like, why the fuck do you even know that? So
right?
Let's just see what's going to happen.
And I was going to go like all over the board. Okay, so your first one, I'm going to give you a Give Me figure. Shipwreck.
Hector X Delgado.
Oh, yep. See, and I was going to try and ding you on the middle initial.
Yeah. Some of the Joes just have memorable middle initials, and there aren't too many with an X for a middle initial, but yeah, those I tend to gravitate towards those.
Yep. Yep. So I was gonna see if I could get you on that one, but
born in Chula Vista, California. If I know the birthplaces, I will throw them in. I mean, I'm a nerd, but there's limits. Come on, folks.
And I had some picked out already, and I was gonna have them up on Yo Joe to see to verify. Not that I don't believe you, but in case you didn't know them, so I could say them. But I being prepared as usual, I didn't do that.
When the fuck?
Right.
So,
my next one, but I did have 5 picked out, and I forgot 2. But
all right, well, we're getting somewhere here, folks. We're making progress. We remembered to do this time.
Right. So my second one that I had picked out. I remember the third one or the fourth one. Yeah, I do. Okay. Second one that I had picked out is Low Light.
Cooper S. McBride, Crosby, North Dakota.
Jesus. All right.
He is on my list of favorite characters, though. So.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I keep forgetting how much you like that.
No, Crosby, South Dakota. Excuse me.
Okay.
They're easy to mix up. because one has Mount Rushmore and the other one doesn't. So it's, whatever. But
fair enough. All right. Yeah, I keep forgetting how big of a fan you are of the 91.
Yeah.
The V2 low light. My third one was Admiral Keelhaul.
Nope. He's got a really weird name, and nope.
What year was he?
1985.
1985. All right.
Then there was a version in 1993. There was a direct repaint of the original and pretty badass. But yeah, no.
Admiral Keelhaul's code name was Everett P. Colby, and he was from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Yeah, I've seen it before, but he's a character that I generally forget about a lot. Even the Sunbow cartoon didn't use him as the commander of the flag, because I think his name was Admiral Ledger. So whatever reason, he just got left out of Sunbow altogether. So fail.
Yep. So 2 to you, 1 to me. And I fully expect to lose this every time.
Maybe not. We'll see.
My next one was one of your least favorite people, and that's Tripwire.
Tormod S. Skoog.
Damn.
The single worst character with the worst figure in the entire history of the Real American Hero line. He sucks. Tripwire is the absolute worst. I hate it.
So you can see where I'm going here. It's like I'm picking some of my favorites, and then I'm like, needle in there. And then the last one that I had picked out, what I had done is I was sitting editing photos next to my flag, and I was looking at all my figures on the flag, and like, so I'm picking these all from where they were all standing, because most of these guys were standing together. Is Cutter.
Skip A. Stone.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Later renamed by whoever was writing the file cards for the 2000-2001 line, where they renamed him Roger Skip A. Stone.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If it's a pun, just go with it. Don't try to disguise it with the respectable name. The guy's name is Skip a Stone.
Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, since that one was so stupidly easily rememberable, and I should have known that, I'm going to throw in another one. I've got him carded right here in front of me, and that's Budo.
Michael A. Gesso, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Kyle A. Gesso.
I believe there is a. Okay, all right. Yep, I mixed him up with a different one, but
Birthplace?
San Francisco.
Close, very close. Sacramento.
Okay. Well, I can't tell you his secondary military specialty is like
infantry,
motorcycle mechanic or something. Oh no, his hobby I think is motorcycle mechanic, if I'm not mistaken. But that may have been retcon information that I picked up. I don't know.
So. Yep. Penhead Harley. And listening to heavy metal. Boy, I like Budo all of a sudden.
Yeah. He's a cool character that's never really gotten a lot of play because, unfortunately, I get what they were going for, making him a modern-day samurai, but in the process, they kind of pigeonholed him by making him look like a modern-day samurai. Some years ago, I decided I like the Joe line because it's diverse with the branches represented, but not always enough. I made him into a U.S. Marine, and I made a hyper-realistic custom of him in Marpat camo, and I gave him a motorcycle just to reflect the file card. Yeah, he's a character. He's not overlooked, but his potential is overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a customizer that's that I really like, Stronx,
yeah.
Stronx, who's made a really awesome custom of Budo, and I don't want to rip it off, but I'm probably going to.
That's a good idea.
Because it's a beautiful modern update. it's on my list of to do. I've got the head. I'm gonna. Unfortunately, JD left some green stuff for me to experiment with, and I sent it back because I thought he'd want it. I had to mail a bunch of shit back to him, and I thought, oh man, he's gonna want this, but he left it here for me to try, and I wish I had because now I want to sculpt hair.
Well, and I feel bad because I should have told you that I was leaving it there for you to use because I have a strip of it here anyways. Yeah, I should have specified it. I'm probably just going to end up mailing you a strip of it so you can try it.
Yeah. In that case, I'll hold off working on this head that I have then.
Yeah, because I left some stuff there partially because I couldn't fit it when I was coming back, and partially because, well, I've been distracted for a couple of weeks, and it's a good distraction, but I'm not thinking clearly on much of anything. All the customs that I primed and got ready so I could paint them when I got home got left on the painting table at Brian's house. So, you know what? There's a girl, and she's spectacular, and I'm more flighty than usual. Insert your laugh here.
Yeah, and it's I feel like I am in some sort of like TV show, like this reality, like I'm stuck in a reality TV show because JD is my best friend and his new girl is one of my best friends as well. So it's like I'm in the 7th season of this reality TV show where they've said, oh, let's put these two main characters together and have them have a romance. And it's just like fucking Twilight Zone meets. I need to go into the diary room and go, the fuck is going on? What are they doing? What is this? So
yeah,
it's
been interesting. Although I will show, I don't like to show work in progress pictures because it puts pressure on me to finish stuff. But I will show one. One of the ones that I left there that was primed. Yeah, I got them back yesterday, so I started it. It's Deep Six, based on Deep Six version 2.
I like it.
Just
a
little bit
came out nice.
Modernized. So the head, the helmet is from the Fortnite line. It doesn't really fit properly with the collar, but that doesn't matter because it's just going to sit there. And he's going to have a removable head with a boonie cap, or the bucket hat that he often wore in the Marvel comics when he didn't have his gear on. I used an El Cheapo, like a bootleg. Wow, the light
pull it back a little bit. There you go, right there.
But yeah, I used a bootleg soldier figure.
There you go, right there.
I hollowed out the hat so I could use it because I like the style of it. So yeah, I'm working on that. So yeah, thanks for sending that stuff back.
Yeah, no
ridiculous that I left it in the first place, but hey, no worries. I gotta read. So
we were going to continue our review of G.I. Joe line, and we're up to 25th anniversary, and it's pretty.
This one's my fault. This one's my fault that we're not doing an entire show about it because as enamored as I was with the 25th line when it started in 2000, and that kind of carried into 2000, and that definitely carried into 2008, but it didn't follow all the way through. I got tired of a lot of the rehashes, and I got tired of seeing a lot of the old stuff just updated. And frankly, some of the sculpts that really looked really cool at the beginning, but some of them were crap right outside of it. There were those 5-packs. Some of those molds were fairly terrible straight away. So I don't feel like the line aged very well. My short list of favorites. Well, hang on. One of my absolute favorites is the 25th style Red Ninja. I really like this figure. I actually want I've got 3 of the ones from the box set, 1 of the carded ones. I actually just really like this figure. I could actually use, I don't know, a dozen more. If anybody has any they don't want, send them to me. I don't think the mold, no, I like the sculpt, but I didn't like it as Storm Shadow, which is what it started out as.
Yeah.
But as a Red Ninja, I think it's phenomenal. And yeah, that I don't army build much, but I would like a shitload of Red Ninjas. So yeah. I mean, there's ah, oh, gimme. Um,
That's
I
a tough card, man.
well, and I'll open that bastard up as soon as I get it. Um, I, I mean, the 25th line is good for what it was, and I understand why it was a huge hit. It got the nostalgia people, and it got collectors reinvigorated and reinterested in GI Joe, and hey, that's great. But I just don't feel like the line as a whole warrants an entire episode.
Yeah.
Um,
So
there's some great stuff, but
because JD and I were arguing about this the other day, and he's right to a degree that the molds didn't hold up, and it's mostly nostalgia driven. It's a mostly nostalgia driven line, and I will agree because I remember picking up. I remember when that first wave came out, and I remember finding it at Kmart. And Kmart was one of the only places that I could get GI Joe figures when I was a kid, and it just, I mean, bam, just like that. And one of the first figures I got that day was the Black Wolf Snake Eyes variant, and I mean, no, that was a really hard figure to find.
yeah, I was gonna say that was like a Super Chase figure.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, just 0 to 60 nostalgia in a heartbeat. And so, but when JD and I were arguing about this last time, he's like, name me figures that aged well. So on that note, I will do that. And I don't have a lot, but I just wanted to pick out the ones that I thought they had number one, that they had updated well, and number two, had aged well. So I'm narrowing that even more. So first, I'm going to start off with hang on a sec here. Are you back? All right. So first, I'm going to start. My first pick is the Cobra Eel.
I do agree with that choice. I do agree with it.
I think it is a fantastic update. I love the fact it has a removable helmet. The removable color is it doesn't really do much, although I kind of like the fact that, it would be part of his dive equipment. So yeah. And I liked the fact that oh no, they hadn't done it yet. Oh yeah, they had. The flippers had a hole for the foot peg.
Yes. I do agree. I have that one. The color drove me nuts. I glued mine down because I'm prone to losing accessories.
Yeah.
So I glued the collar down. I do agree with that choice.
My next one is not too far off of that, and that's the Cobra Snow Serpent.
Honestly, not only do I agree with that, but when I didn't name it, it's because I just sort of overlooked it. But I think if you have eyes, I really believe that the Snow Serpent should definitely tickle your fancy. That's an update that they did literally everything right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
the removable fur, all the equipment. I love figures that have removable equipment. And I've always loved the Cobra Eels, and every branch from the Cobra Eel on up is a favorite of mine. So yeah, that is as close to a perfect figure straight out of the package as you can get, I think.
I agree. I like the Lamprey from the 25th anniversary. What was it? The 7-pack?
Yes. Assault on Cobra Island 7-pack.
Yeah. I love the original Lamprey, and while this figure didn't replicate the look exactly, like he doesn't have the sleek wetsuit look. I really think that what they did with it I really think it works beautifully.
Yeah,
And the
I
helmet
love
is
the
cool
removable
with the,
helmet and the transparent lens. Yeah,
yeah.
that is awesome.
There's, I think that one's a hard one to argue with. So,
Yeah,
I mean, look, the 25th line was good. I like the original carded shipwreck from that line. He was real skinny, he was real lanky looking, but I think it worked. I don't know that it held up, but I think it works for. But that's kind of a weird exception where I can see all the flaws, yet I love it anyways. And it was the first shipwreck figure I really kind of liked as the character. I'm not a shipwreck fan. Uh, his portrayal in the cartoon never did much for me. I'm just whatever. But
which is weird because I'm not weird, but just kind of for how prevalent he was in the cartoon.
I think that's why
Because he was an A-lister in the cartoon, basically.
he was. Well, Neil Ross did a good job doing a Jack Nicholson impression, inspired by the Last Detail naval movie. And I get what he was going for, but I'm not enough of a Jack Nicholson fan. He tends to play Jack Nicholson with different names, and but so I mean, there's exceptions. 25th line's good in niche elements. I don't think it's worth doing a whole episode on. So we're gonna skip to the Pursuit of Cobra.
I did want to throw in 3 more.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I don't think the figures necessarily are the best, but they were new figures. Paraviper. I did not, which I still to this day still believe it's based on some of my customs, because if you look at my old Navy SEAL Halo customs, there's a lot of stuff in common with those.
Nothing's to say that it wasn't inspired by some of your work, and hey, and you can see your mark on it. So yeah, it's cool. Hey, perception is 9/10 of whatever.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you that somebody was looking at your work and thought, we could do that. So
and I actually do like the Rise of Cobra paint scheme better. I did not particularly care for that. The Paraviper. And the figure was not good. The articulation was not good. The pads that they had sculpted on the knees. There's a thing in the Transformer community when the Transformer can't transform because there's a problem with the articulation and they don't catch it. There's a slang word for that, and I don't remember because I've been out of that community for so long. But that figure had that problem because the knees did not articulate properly because of the knee pads. The next one that I was going to throw in was a character that was from the IDW, not the IDW, the Devil's Due comic book, and
Wraith.
Came in 2 versions. Yes, Wraith and then Translucent Wraith. I love translucent figures. It was not well sculpted. It did have a flip up faceplate, which was pretty cool. It reused a lot of stuff. I think they could have done it a lot better, but it was still cool to see a completely translucent figure.
Well, and Wraith was a character that I think Brandon Jerwa created him for the book, and it was cool to finally get it was cool to see a figure of him.
Yeah.
For a character named Charles Halifax Jr., he was kind of like a weapons guy, but like he was a millionaire playboy.
He stole the armor, if I remember right.
Yeah, but he did, and he became a stealth infiltrator for Cobra for a while. I like that they immortalized him in plastic. I was a bit irritated when on the toy you flip up the helmet and he's got like a mustache and it made him look a lot like Tony Stark. He didn't look like he did because I remember in the comics that he was in, there was an issue that was drawn by Michael Turner, may he rest in peace, and he gave him kind of a distinctive rich kind of entitled kind of a guy in his 20s. He had a lot of money and not a lot. He didn't know what all to do with it, so he stole the suit of armor and decided, well, I'm going to go play whatever. But cool idea, not such a great figure. But
And
translucent. So of course,
I'm going to add two more actually. Since you pulled up the lamprey, I have them on my deck of the flag. I don't know where they're at because it's all mixed in. The range viper and the alley viper.
can't get behind either of them.
I think the alley viper is a fantastic.
It was too skinny. It bothered me. Nifty
sculpt,
sculpt, skinny because they used snake eyes as a basis, and he didn't have the bulky look that I think he needed to have. So
yeah, okay, I can see that, but the removable helmet, which was something we've been trying to do in customs for years, and then I think the range viper holds up. I like that range viper.
Okay. Or is that just cooler than I remembered? I mean, I'm not a big fan of the range viper in general. I do like that helmet, of course.
Yeah.
I may have used it in a custom recently.
Because they took the DTC helmet and ran with it and made it.
Yeah, and I'm biased because I used it on that custom Eevee. But
it's 4
okay. He has his computer set to announce the time when the hour turns just to annoy his wife. And now ever since I was sitting there and it would do that and she'd be around and she'd make faces and it's amusing. So
it's hilarious. I think I can do it on the 15-minute mark, but I don't think I would survive that.
I don't think I would either.
No, all right, so that's all I got for the 25th anniversary line, which was just the kind of hidden gems that, number one, were decent updates of the original figures, and number two, held up well over time, and that is not a very long list. Otherwise, if we do a show specifically on the 25th anniversary, we're going to do the Scarlet from the first wave was shitty, the Duke from the first wave was shitty, the Snake Eyes from the first wave was shitty, the Stalker from the first wave.
Gung Ho and Roadblock were nifty ideas with absolutely atrociously horrific sculpts. They were crap to start with. They were crap when they repainted them. They were crap right up until they got much better later versions. So this is why we're not doing an episode about the 25th, because not a whole lot good to say, especially in that early stuff. So
right. So
sorry, folks, but
what year did Pursuit of Cobra start then?
2010, I believe, because it was it was maybe late 2009. It followed the Rise of Cobra toy line,
which we'll have to go back and do Rise of Cobra sometime too, because that did have a lot of good stuff in it too.
Yeah, but some of those I feel like can bleed into the Pursuit of Cobra. They don't, but you could. But it was the Pursuit of Cobra was the follow-on line to the movie. What they did was they took the storyline from Rise of Cobra, what we saw on screen, and they continued that story in the form of the toy line, and so they got a lot of pretty nifty new updates to characters that were not in the movie, but perhaps if they had been, this may be what they would have looked at. But they also used it as an excuse to bang out some phenomenal sculpts with accessories that I'm not even the accessories guy, and I was taken with a lot of the accessories. There is a metric assload of good stuff in the Pursuit of Cobra line, so we could definitely make an episode out of that.
Rise of Cobra, we're doing Pursuit of Cobra.
What?
You said Pursuit of Cobra. We're doing Pursuit of Cobra. You're talking Rise of Cobra line.
Yeah, well, words,
right?
Language.
Yeah, I know those are difficult things for you. So yes. The Pursuit of Cobra line, basically they took the characters that you already knew and loved, and then they gave them phenomenal updates that were just beautiful. I've got the list here open on YoJo. I'm just working right to left because there's probably skip all the Snake Eyes. Not that Snake Eyes was bad, but Jesus, do we really need to rehash every 50?
No, because if we sat there picking favorite versions of Snake Eyes or excellent versions of Snake Eyes, you know what? We could do a Snake Eyes show. We're not going to do that.
No,
because that's pretty much what Hasbro turned the comic book line into towards the end there. But I mean, look, Super God Ninja or Super Ninja God he's a great character. He's overrated, but whatever. It's
So the
hard
first
not
one,
to like Snake Eyes, but it's also easy to ignore him in favor of characters that are not quite so
cliche.
present. Yeah. So
So working right to left off of Yo Joe, I'm looking at Pursuit of Cobra Beachhead. That was a
yeah,
beautiful figure.
cannot argue with that.
Interchangeable heads, removable vest. He had that little computer that I showed you that was that I used on my Mega Viper custom. He had like sci-fi looking fins that plugged into the back of his
I
vest.
love those fins. I love them.
He had a knife on a back draw on his back. He had kind of sci-fi-ish looking weapons. That whole figure was beautiful, an amazing figure. I actually probably have that here.
I'd be shocked if you didn't.
I do.
I had a couple of those. I customized them. I mean, I customized, but yeah, that was that was a different, very worthy update.
Different gun. So yeah, this will be fairly. Some of this will be easy to do on the show, and there I need to see what I'm doing. So here is the Pursuit of Cobra Beachhead. I've got the other helmet on. There's the knife on the back and the flippers on the front.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah. The next one is the Jungle Duke, which I think is it has like a Metal Gear Solid vibe to it. And I had one of the first backpacks I have the backpack here actually that has elastic, which was a good idea that just never continued, unfortunately.
Okay. I've got the Pursuit of Cobra up now. On Dojo. Since I couldn't when we did the other show. Folks, I got myself a laptop. I'm on high speed now.
You're moving up in the tech world here.
I really am. So, yay. So, yeah, because when he said that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna need a refresher here. So, yeah.
So, nothing like jumps out at me about the Jungle Duke. It's just an all-around decent figure.
I like that figure. I used it as an out of wetsuit, an out of diving gear version of Depth Charge, the Spy Troop character. He was blue primarily, anyways, and something about that Jungle Duke didn't say Duke to me, but it did say Jungle Seal, and I like obscure characters, and Depth Charge for some reason always spoke to me. So that's exactly how I used it, and that's exactly what mine is now. So
yeah, I think I customized all mine. I took the last one out of my collection and I used it for customs, so I can't show you that one. The next one I don't have. Well, I've used it for customs. In fact, I gave JD the backpack for one of his customs, and that's the Recondo.
I have nothing.
A really interesting figure.
Yeah, I don't have anything against the character of Recondo. I have just always been completely neutral on Recondo as a character. Nothing wrong, nothing bad, nothing good. He's just there. Really like the Pursuit of Cobra version. He looks nothing like the original.
No,
he's
not
exciting.
At all.
He's bald. He's got a mustache. He's basically Jesse Ventura from the Predator movie, but he came with these accessories that are crazy. First of all, he had a communications backpack that had like satellite panels on it.
That were translucent and they're posable.
Yes, and I mean that's a high tech piece of equipment. That was good stuff. My favorite accessory is it's a bear trap. It's like the you put the like you see in the it lays flat. It's got the spring in the, and then it clamps shut. And who would have thought to put that in a toy line? like this. But that's some friggin' genius.
Well, and the way they designed it is if you set it down and put a figure's foot down on it, the way that it's angled, it will close on the
Like
foot.
it's like they didn't have to put a spring into it because it functions. I mean,
Yeah.
that is freaking cool.
Plus, it will attach to a like retractable zip line from the backpack, so you can push the button on the backpack and it'll pull the trap to you.
Ah, that's what that was for.
Mm.
Okay. Learn new things every day, folks.
Right. So that, and it also came with like a tribal mask, which was really
Oh,
cool.
oh, that's right. Yeah, it had this crazy this crazy like primitive style mask. It was really like it had a lot of colors on it. They didn't have to paint it. It could have been a solid piece of, but they didn't, and it was awesome.
So I'm going to skip the like next three figures because they're all Snake Eyes and go straight to probably one of my favorite figures. Well, Jesus, I'm probably going to say that like every time I pull out a figure here. Is the Snow Job. Anybody that knows me knows that I love accessories. I am a huge accessories guy. JD is not an accessory guy. I am an accessory guy.
I'm impressed by them, but I have trouble keeping
that came out in the 80s. Remember the little belt pack that would hold 3 figures that you could put on your belt?
Oh, oh yeah. Wow. I'm having a brain fart.
It was a figure case that you could put on your belt and it helped.
Yeah, it was the Pocket Patrol Pack.
Yes. I had one of those when I was a kid. I wore it for about 3 minutes until a gun fell out the back. And then I said, that's it for that. Never using that again. Never touched it again. The second I figured out I was going to lose accessories out of that thing, never used it again. So, as an accessory guy, the Snow Job hit everything perfectly. He comes with a backpack that has a radio that has an antenna. He comes with a gas, like a Gary can for gas. He comes with a like a backpacking camping stove with a mess kit that opens and closes from like a pan lid. He comes, if you plug his skis and his poles together, he comes with some camo netting that will make a tent, and comes with the sniper rifle, and all of his gear plugs into his backpack. Not to mention that is a fantastic head sculpt, and the figure is awesome. It has a removable coat. The skis were really cool. I grew up in Colorado, so skiing is something I know, and these are like really awesome skis compared to the ones that any other figure previous to him has ever come with. Everything about this figure is phenomenal. And then ice axe. It came with an ice axe too.
Oh yeah, wicked looking thing too. It's super realistic. Looks like it would make a great murder weapon.
Yeah, it's a climbing ice axe. That's exactly.
Yep, great murder weapon. My next choice is an easy one. It's not a particularly exciting looking character. He is kind of a little bit sort of forgotten about, but there's something about the character and the look of him that really grabbed my attention. He came with like the 75th or the 76th version of the Ostriker that's ever been put in the Joe line. Wow, boy, did we all get tired of seeing Ostrikers at some point.
I do.
But the character, his code name was Night Fox, and
yes,
he's basically got desert tan fatigue pants, and he's got an all black fatigue blouse tunic, but he's got say that fucking word mask. That. Then he's got the hat that goes with it, but there is nothing particularly notable about him, and for me, that's what screams like badass. The guy on his file card, he's a formal Navy SEAL. I don't know what the point of that was. Just make him a Navy SEAL because he fits the part beautifully. I bought that Ostriker to get Night Fox, and I still have that Ostriker. but yeah, I bought it for that character. For being a character that was released, that was designed and created much later. I can put him on my favorite list of Joe characters since the beginning. Night Fox was really there wasn't a false note about it. He's gotten some other versions since, but none of them had quite the cool factor the first one did.
And then Joe's got them split up by G.I. Joe and by Cobra, which they did not. They came out mixed. They didn't come out
in
I don't or Cobra Wave. I don't know what they're doing with this, but it works too. The first one is an Alley Viper, which is a unique colors. I liked this color scheme on this Alley Viper. It's a deep dark maroon with gray, two-tone gray, and I think it really works. I never really. I mean, I did like the orange and blue of the vintage, but it just, unless you're at a Denver Bronco game, it really doesn't help you blend into an urban environment in any way, shape, or form. Not that the maroon does, but a lot of the gray would.
I have some simple logic to explain the Alley Viper, the original, the loud. It's orange. It's not subtle. My simple logic was this. If an urban warfare zone is in bad shape, if whatever reason resistance or whatever is on the rise, Cobra deploy. They don't send in just troopers or whatever. They send in the Alley Vipers, and it's okay if they're loudly colored, because by the time you see the Alley Vipers, they're not subtle. By the time you see them on the way, it's too late. It's over.
I like that.
Cobra is victorious, and the Alley Vipers are going to pacify the area without leaving. Well, it's going to be ugly. So it doesn't matter if they're bright orange. They're not meant to be subtle. They're not infiltration specialists. They're showy for a reason.
Yeah, I was writing a fanfic a long time ago, about 10 years ago now, and it was basically Major Blood was in charge of Cobra, and he was building it from the ground up. And Guillotine was his second in command, and he was training all the specialty Vipers. And I don't know that I ended up writing this particular chapter, but I had it planned out for the Alley Vipers to graduate the class, the Alley Vipers, and there were only 4 of them. They had to take and control a city block for 4 hours, and then escape.
I dig it.
In a major metropolitan city, they had to hold off all the police, anything that they threw at them. They had to take and control the city block for 4 hours and then escape.
I dig it. See, and again, in that capacity, the bright color works too, because
bright colors
are not hiding.
Way of saying do not touch.
Yeah, they're gonna get noticed. The media is gonna find it. They're gonna see it, and it's gonna be ugly. The bright colors on the Alley Vipers have always worked for me for exactly that reason. It's not subtle. It doesn't need to be. So,
speaking of urban colors, the next figure in the line, working right to left, which I cannot leave this one out. I'm going to skip a few of them, obviously, is the Pursuit of Cobra Firefly.
That helmet was friggin' cool.
Interchangeable heads with like sci-fi futuristic
is that a word?
Vest. His weapons were awesome. He had a backpack that opened, had detachable mines. I actually have one here. Let me show you.
I love the figure with the helmet. Don't care much about the figure without the helmet. That was a piece that.
Yeah, I don't.
That was a piece that struck me.
I don't think I have one with just the head. I don't know where the head for him is. The other head. So there's your Pursuit of Cobra. He has the wrist gauntlets. He's missing his mines.
That's freaking cool. Now, you know what? All geared up.
The wrist gauntlets plug into his body armor in the back.
All all geared up like that. Yeah, shit, yeah. That's like a heavy assault Firefly the way we never saw him before. And
actually, I have two of them. Here's the
tough
one.
to argue.
Here's the one with the mines.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, I have two of them. I have it customized. So that the Pursuit of Cobra Firefly for me is, I just knocked over a bunch of my Joy Toy figures. Well, maybe not as many as I thought. Anyway, there is one other version of the Firefly, and I don't remember what line. We'll talk about that another time. But I think the Pursuit of Cobra Firefly is like one of my top two favorite versions of Firefly. Period.
There is no dispute for that. That's a badass looking Firefly. I like Firefly. I use them differently. People complain sometimes it's a different version of Firefly, like it doesn't look like Firefly. I always like the idea that Firefly isn't just a guy. It was a guy. He started out as a guy, and he gained a reputation for being the badass saboteur, industrial espionage guy that he was in the original line. But he had, but he inspired a following within like the mercenary community, and there were copycats. They did the same work, maybe not as well, but they did the same work, and they called themselves Firefly because who could dispute it? They don't know who these people are. By the time their work is done,
like Firefly Corps, I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. I had this concept worked out a long time ago. By the time Firefly's work is done, he's long gone. So it doesn't. At that point, he's a bit of an urban legend within the special ops, nefarious organized crime circles. It doesn't matter if it's one guy or a bunch of guys. If Firefly's around, it's bad news. Bad news for whoever the target is because they're gonna succeed. So
yeah. The next one in the row there and on my list, I just knocked over more guys. Oh well, I give me something to do later. I remember seeing the Hasbro had released. I thought I had one still carded. I'm sure I do. I just don't know where it's at. And I set one aside because I'm going to do a female version when I get another figure. I remember seeing the concept pictures, and it comes with a ton of gear. So, woo, I'm already all in. And that's the Jungle Viper.
Oh yeah, pretty cool. Really, the wings. I don't care for what it was supposed to be. The wings, fucking amazing.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like a high-tech ghillie suit. So he's got this backpack with 3 ball joints. There's a piece that plugs into the back that covers his head, and then segmented. They look like wings, and they're positionable.
So it can be fully enclosed, or it can be opened up. And when he's fully enclosed, he's definitely camouflaged with the trees.
And then a Night Viper style helmet.
Yeah.
So there we go. I don't have his. I do have his rifle, but I don't particularly care for it because it's basically it's an anti-tank rifle and not a sniper rifle.
It is a realistic weapon.
It is a real weapon.
Yeah. But it is not practical. It is huge. It has to be propped up. He's got to lay on the ground with it. Basically, he's not going to carry the thing.
Yeah, no, I think I read somebody saying that it's not a hand portable weapon to begin with.
Yeah, it's either, I think it's supposed to be vehicle mounted or it's supposed to be like tripod mounted on.
Somebody said sled at one point in time. So
well, hey, what do I know?
But yeah, so everything
Viper
is all jointed. So yeah, and I'm planning on doing a female version of this.
I feel like the Jungle Viper
out of figures
is a prime example that to capture the essence of what the Pursuit of Cobra line was. I mean, look at that thing. Look at it. It's gorgeous. There's a reason they cost a car payment. Well, maybe not, but on the secondary market, it's friggin' cool looking. I mean,
it's an amazing.
It's a work of action figure art. When I think of the Pursuit of Cobra line as a whole, the Jungle Viper is not the top of the list, but very close. He's maybe the top of the list. I mean, he he was he was a Cobra trooper of a whole different class. They thought he was an example of Hasbro thinking of every step. They planned everything, and it was gorgeous. It's a
I do
work.
have a Recondo. I didn't think I did, but I do.
Brian has so much stuff, he doesn't even know what he's got.
And it's funny you should say works of art, because that is what I would use to describe the next figure on the list, which is one of JD's favorite characters, and that is Pursuit of Cobra Zartan. I don't even have all the gear with him because I'm missing. I've used his extra head for customs, and his vest. I think I found one of his vests. I need to set it with him because I'd like to have one complete, but I've used his head because it's a nice sculpt for head. So this is probably one of the coolest figures ever made. It is definitely probably on the top 5 of my. If I had to pick like 5 or 10 figures of all time from any line, the Pursuit of Cobra Zartan would be up there. So he comes with the little hawk that has the hood that's removable.
And the feather.
And the feather on the hood. The assault rifle he comes with is a great sculpt, actually. Comes with the stand that the hawk will sit on. I have a hard time doing that. He's got his belt holds 2 knives, which are there. And then he's got this sling bag, which is really cool. And then the removable.
Is that the version that went into production with the traditional Zartan head, or I can't tell on the camera, or is it the?
I have it in hand, and I can't tell you which version it is.
Or is it the pre-production version with the head sculpt that was based on the actor Arnold Vosloo, who played Zartan in the Rise of Cobra?
It's probably
that's the traditional Zartan style head. I've got here we go. I've got a custom. Zartan's my favorite fictional bad guy of all time. Doesn't matter what property, doesn't matter what franchise. Zartan is the preeminent bad guy in my mind. I have at least 6 different versions of him that I love, including a custom version that I made where I combined some of the 25th or some of the original elements. And
I do have the one with the other head sculpt.
Yeah, and see, I've got it right here. Yeah, this is my custom version. I combined elements of the original and the Pursuit of Cobra version, but it's got the Arnold Vosloo head sculpt. I had a bunch of those. Arnold Vosloo, he's on my list of actors that I really like. Like anything he's in, I'll watch it. But the fact that they cast that actor, okay, I know him mostly as Imhotep from The Mummy, and he's badass. Love that movie. Kind of like the second one, but
I like them both actually.
But I like the second one, but it ain't the magic of the first one.
Yeah.
And that third one, we ain't gonna talk about that.
I didn't see the third one.
But I found it a stroke of personal gratification genius that an actor that I super liked was cast as my favorite bad guy in the Rise of Cobra. Say what you will about that movie. I still think it's better than Retaliation, but never mind that. No, more watchable, not better, more watchable. But I love the fact that he played Zartan, and then in the toy line, a pre-production version, we got a fantastic head sculpt based on the actor. So that's the prefer.
The bag actually holds the interchangeable head too, and the interchangeable head comes with goggles.
Right. Yes.
So I have those in that bag, and I'm going to put
is
Arnold Vosloo head in with this bag, so I keep it all together because I'd like to have one that's complete.
Yeah, I can't disagree with Brian. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm biased because he's my favorite bad guy, but I couldn't possibly dispute that it's
Uh-oh.
One of the best versions of Zartan, arguably maybe the best after the original, which is just iconic to me.
Yeah, it is my favorite version of Zartan, hands
It
down.
it
It inspired. I had so much fun playing with this when it came out because it was so different from anything else that had ever come out in an update for a character that the things that it did for my imagination were just phenomenal. That I ended up making a Zorana and a Xandar custom based off of that style.
And see, I had intentions of taking my Zartan custom and making his younger twin siblings in this style, but I never got around to it. So maybe I will at some point.
The next figure I would want to mention, it's not a particular favorite figure. It has some interesting paint jobs. I just have a novel story, like a novel story to tell about it. And that's the Arctic Assault Destro. The frost job that they did on his helmet's pretty cool. He comes with this like auger to dig up ice. The sculpt is pretty nice, but when these things came out, they peg warmed. You could not give them away for anything.
Nope.
In fact, one Christmas at my Walmart, where I was living, I ended up buying, I think, like 12 of them, and I donated them all to Toys for Tots just to get them off the shelves because they had been there for so long. I'm like, I'm sorry, some kid's gonna get the Arctic Destro for Christmas, but a lot of kids got Arctic Destro for Christmas that year, and now you need a car payment to buy one.
Yeah. It's not my favorite version of Destro. I like everything they did with it. I find it forgettable. Not my favorite version of Destro. Really cool. Okay, so I don't have, but you're right. They were clearance to Target. Oh, the days of yore.
Yeah. No, and they are super expensive on the secondary market. I was looking at something. I was doing some research for a custom that I plan on doing. So I was looking at trying to find the best head sculpt for Destro that I liked. Excuse me. And I came across one of the Arctic Destros on eBay, and they wanted just stupid money for it. I'm like, I bought all of them and gave them to Toys for Tots one year because they would not sell. So the next figure is the one that I used a shitload for customs. There was a chase version that eventually came out because the little piece of equipment that he was supposed to come out with didn't, and they eventually reissued it with the piece of equipment, and that is the red metallic Cobra Commander, and I have both. It's here. Hang on.
Ew! Why is that even coming up?
Because
metallic or not, that thing is fuck ugly.
Because, well, you can't see it in the package, but it comes with a miniature HISS tank.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay, well, in that case, I need one just for the miniature HISS tank. Actually, I bet the miniature HISS tank, I bet that's expensive on it. I don't remember.
I was going to say, good luck getting that because I don't think I've even seen one on the secondary market.
I honestly I do not. Yeah, I don't.
Here out of the package is what the miniature HISS tank looks like.
Oh, yeah, I need one. Here,
so
you have my address. Just go ahead and send it to me.
Yeah, not a chance.
Okay, so fuck you then.
Tracks are articulated. It's spring-loaded. I didn't keep the missile. And then the guns on the top move, too.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that accessory, and now I'm pretty mad that I don't have one. Otherwise, okay, well, yeah, that's a good reason to put Cobra Commander on the list. The less said about the toy, the better, the figure. So
I'm going to disagree because from the waist down, that it's a pinstripe suit, and the sculpting on those feet, on those is they're like brogued. They're like
they're
dress shoes with broguing.
Yeah.
which was fantastic for customs, for people wearing suits in customs. I used a shit ton of that figure for.
All right. Well, okay. As father, sure. As the figure itself, no.
Yeah,
it's
well,
ugly.
I will agree with that.
Ugly.
There were two exclusives for Pursuit of Cobra Toys R Us exclusives, and I'm just gonna throw out one there, and that's the Spirit that looked like Billy from Predator.
I have one of those downstairs. I was looking at it yesterday and admiring just how friggin' cool that figure still is. Absolutely.
I still have one on the card somewhere. I don't know where it is.
I'll go get mine to show it off. I'll run them.
Yeah, you have to, because I don't know that I have one.
I shall return. Talk. Fill up the air.
So
okay. All right. Question.
I'm pretty sure I still have one on the card, but I sure as fuck can't find it right now.
All right. Yeah, this thing is so inspired by Billy from Predator. It's impossible to deny.
Yeah.
So basically, in the Pursuit of Cobra line, we had Blaine and we had Billy, and it is one of the coolest versions of Spirit they have ever made.
Yeah.
And I just it's the I mean, he's got these armbands, but it's got this detail. It's got like war paint. He's got a war paint style eagle over here. I don't know if the camera can pick it up at all, but
it's getting there.
It's yeah. I mean, this dude, he's scary. This is what Spirit should be, and
yeah,
they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I know I've got one somewhere, but I can't find it. It doesn't look like it's up on the wall. But while I was looking for it, I found out that I still have 3 carded Jungle Vipers.
Well, I need one because they're expensive on the secondary market. Thanks.
I'll trade you for your wetsuit.
Oh, you can go straight to hell, sir. This is well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. I had to try. So that about the only other one that I wanted to throw in before we go to the next year is the Dusty.
Yeah.
Which was I thought it was pretty cool. Interchangeable head. It was a new update. JD doesn't like it apparently, but I did. I liked the.
He's a cool post-apocalyptic figure that I just had no particular. I had no particular feelings on it. I can name. I got one more choice for this one. Yeah, I mean that Dusty, it's cool looking, but I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me.
So that's about all I had for that year. Moving on to 2011.
Hang on, I got one more.
Oh, well, spit it out. You just said that you didn't.
No, I did. The Pursuit of Cobra Quick Kick. Again, Toys R Us exclusive.
Oh, okay.
It is. God, this Quick Kick is friggin' awesome. I do not have one. I did have one. I cannot currently locate it. It's not lost.
I thought I had one too, but I don't. I'm not sure that.
It's practical. It's Quick Kick, but it's everything about the original Quick Kick character figure that worked, but it's better. Well, for one, he has shoes, but he's also got like a removable tunic, which honestly, the tunic when it's on him, because it's removable, it's a bit bulky looking.
I like the boxing gloves. I thought that was a nice touch. The sparring gloves.
Yeah, I mean, those were cool. I mean, like I said, the tunic's a little bulky, but I think it's acceptable bulky. It's not obnoxious, but he's basically wearing all black with some yellow highlights.
Oh,
and the
on
tunic
the wall.
has. See, there you go. He's got a red belt on the tunic. Look, it's a little bit Cobra Kai uniform style.
The colors are very Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I mean, he has shoes. Whoever thought of it? What a mind-blowing concept.
And they're nicely sculpted like gym shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that quick kick is everything that the character could have been without any of the gimmicky stuff that the original figure is so fondly remembered for.
Which, if you want to see the original figure, here's a carded one.
I mean, look, he's memorable, and
is that 85?
Yeah.
Yeah, 85 quick kicks still on the card. Cards beat the shit, but hey, at least
doesn't matter.
Still on the card.
By the way, his code name is MacArthur S. Ito. He's half Japanese and half Korean. His heritage. I feel like for a character that's so memorable, and with good reason, I think the original figure is memorable, but it is not practical. No. And the Pursuit of Cobra version that Toys R Us contracted, it did it right. It maintains the iconic status and modernizes it, makes it real world. That's the coolest quick kick they've ever made.
They haven't made a lot of quick kicks.
That's not no, but I'm saying I think it defines who Quick Kick was, without being barefoot and shirtless in the snow.
That's the only time I can think of Quick Kick.
They made a 25th version, and it was decent, but it updated everything about the gimmicky original. But it's a 25th figure that could have been better. Whatever. Yeah. So.
All right, so that was it for 2010. Moving to 2011, the first one that was on my list was kind of a particular favorite figure of mine as a kid. I'm just gonna spit it out. We're not gonna talk about it because I know JD hates the character. Is Blowtorch. I like the removable gear. That's all that did it for me was the removable gear.
Yeah,
I thought they did a nice job with removable gear. That's about it. I mean, the figure is nice. The articulation's nice. But the one that I really wanted to go to, which is, I think, a fantastic update of the original figure, is Crazy Legs.
Blowtorch. Yeah. All the obnoxious colors of the original repainted for some reason in slightly different versions of the obnoxious colors of the original. No, not a fan. Not a fan. The character I've always been neutral on. I have always found it a curiosity that in the Sunbow cartoon, he was voiced by Michael Bell, who did Duke's voice, but he had an Irish accent. I don't know why. The character was.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because you would think that if anybody was going to have an Irish accent, that it would be Barbecue.
But that's also weird because they're both Americans.
But Barbecue has that descent of living in Boston. Anybody, people Boston. From Boston, they have friggin' Irish accents.
Yeah, no. This was an outright, like Lucky Charms leprechaun accent.
Yes, I know. Have you met somebody from Boston?
No.
That's what they sound like.
But I'm talking about Blowtorch. His name is Timothy Hanrahan. Okay, he is definitely Irish heritage, but he was born in Daytona Beach, Florida. I don't know why the character had an Irish accent. And I'm not complaining. It was a well done job by Michael Bell doing I've always been fascinated and sort of a what the fuck sort of.
Yeah, I got a question for you there. You just showed the Billy. What color is the eagle on his left arm?
Red with a white outline.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I do have a loose one on my deck of my flag.
I'm telling you, folks, he's got so many figures, he don't even know what he's got.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, because I was posting pictures of all my carded figures, and they're like, do you have any uncustomized figures?
That's why I piped in. I'm like, he's got a ton of uncustomized figures. I actually did not swipe anything like I threatened to, but I could have.
Yeah, and you would have gotten away with it, and my wife would have helped you.
That is true.
Because you told her, and she didn't say anything.
This is true. I opted not to, but yeah, he's got tons of uncustomized stuff. He just hasn't photographed it because there's so much of it, and his custom stuff is just cooler to show off. So, yeah.
Yeah. The next one on the list was Crazy Legs, which I thought was a fantastic update of the original. Mine seems to be faded compared to like the picture that's on Yo Joe, but I kind of like the fact that it's a muted red and not like shoot me red like the original was. I like the fact that it had posable goggles, removable helmet, and the watch cap under the helmet. The backpack parachute pack is one of my favorite sculpts to use in customs. I love everything about this figure. I was a huge fan of any of the paratroopers when I was a kid. So Ripcord, Crazy Legs, obviously, and Freefall were some of my favorite characters as a kid, and figures for that matter. So I really liked Crazy Legs as a kid, and I love this figure as an update.
Well, here's my first choice for 2011. Steel Brigade.
Yeah.
That's Steel Brigade. Man, it took the original formula. Khaki pants, blue shirt, Steel Brigade helmet, removable this time. That the Steel Brigade helmet, in my opinion, is iconic. The design is unique. I've never seen anything in a toy line like that before. I really haven't seen much in the toy line like that since. It's sci-fi looking, but it's awesome looking. The thing,
iconic. There is no other way to describe it. And I don't have any of mine. I've taken all mine apart for customs.
Yeah, I mean, Brian can probably drop a picture of this figure in when he edits it. The Steel Brigade, it took everything about the original mail-away figure, the recipe, and it just amps it up and badasses it up for a modern toy line. Accessories are great. The gear is great. It's Steel Brigade. It was carded. It was individually carded. Yeah. I could buy multiples. I love the Steel Brigade, and I love this figure. It is one of my favorites of the Pursuit of Cobra line, and only partially because I'm completely biased for it.
Do you still have any?
Yeah, I've got two of them. I have two of them, and I was actually just the other day, I was looking at one of them, and I was reminded of how glorious it was to see this thing in a store on a shelf. Steel Brigade. I'm just, fuck yes. I had four of them. I do believe I had one that wasn't in great shape. I think I sent it to Brian a while ago. He could customize it, but yeah, I have two of them left. They're perfect just the way they are.
I did. I customized that. I don't remember what I turned it into. I'd have to look again, but I did use that for custom, and it turned out really nice, I think.
Yeah. I fucking love that. On that note, Brian texted me the other day, said, I made a Steel Brigade, my Steel Brigade custom. I want a file card for him, write a character. I love doing that. So I did. I wrote a file card for him, made him a specific character. And so, yeah, I love that stuff. So that's my top and first pick for 2011.
I think that's an interesting way of putting that. Top pick. My top pick was going to be my next pick. You will not agree with me on that.
Probably.
Because it was a figure that I could not.
Oh, not this again. All right. Lay it out.
Shut up. Was a figure I could not get as a kid. So I did have one. I did end up trading for it eventually. It wasn't complete, which always drove me crazy as a gearhead. But the Pursuit of Cobra line took this character and said, you know what, we're going to fucking hit it out of the park on this figure. And they sure as fuck did on that. And that is Lowlight. The Pursuit of Cobra Lowlight is probably one of the best homages to the original figure and still taking it to a whole new level of awesome. Hang on a second, I will get mine.
All right, folks. I am not disputing that it's a badass figure. I am not disputing that. It is. I mean, they took everything about the original and made it friggin' amazing. Okay. And I'm not disputing that it's awesome. I am disputing that it is remotely exciting. The original Lowlight was not exciting. The new sculpt renditions of it they made, DTC, not exciting. Pursuit of Cobra, not exciting.
Oh,
Badass,
bullshit. This
amazing
Pursuit of Cobra.
figure, not exciting. Lowlight 1991, the completely redone, barely a Lowlight figure. That's my favorite. I'm biased. The original Lowlight just doesn't do it for me, aside of the red goggles. So my dispute is not with the figure. My dispute is with the excitement factor.
I cannot get more excited about a figure. Like I said about Zartan, how cool that particular figure was. This one would be right up there with that. He came with the sniper rifle that had the removable scope that plugged into his right leg, which you've always wondered what that was supposed to be sculpted onto his leg.
That is true. Mystery accessory. It was supposed to hold a scope, I believe, but that never worked out. There was no scope to plug into it,
and this does.
That one does.
Comes off the sniper rifle, which has a silencer that's removable, which has a bipod that's removable. I don't remember what the bipod for this one is right now. It came with the radio. The handset comes off the radio. The radio plugs into his backpack. He comes with a case of bullets. There is a bullet that's removable. I'm pretty sure I've lost all of the bullets from mine.
Oh, I absolutely lost mine.
He comes with a rifle case, which opens. I think this is probably one of the coolest accessories because it's sculpted like a real rifle case, which is fantastic. I mean, my 30-06 is in a rifle case like this, which holds the scope and the rifle and the stock, and also let me get it back in there because it's in silencer, and that plugs into his backpack as well, which is fantastic. His backpack frigging opens. I mean, that's not something that you see too often. And he comes with the spotting. There's the bipod for my gun. He comes with a little computer to do to do the trajectories on his shooting. He comes with a spotting scope. I mean, he comes with the little Uzi. The amount of gear, he comes with a knife that's removable. The amount of gear that this particular figure came with gets me excited in ways that I don't want to describe on camera because it's
thank you.
Appropriate.
I always thought the computer was cool, but I always took it as it measures how many miles, which he just killed that guy. So, that bullet went 3.5 miles, and there is nothing left of that guy because I'm such a badass sniper. Maybe not, but whatever. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, the amount of accessories that this guy comes with is just, it's almost stupidly insane. But one of my pet peeves as a kid is I liked having accessories, but I hated losing them. So I wanted my figure to be able to hold all of his accessories at one point in time, at one time, so I didn't have to worry about losing them. And this Lowlight does. All of the accessories that he comes with will fit in his backpack, his rifle case, and plug into his backpack, or he's able to carry them all at the same time. That is a fantastic piece of engineering. That is what I try and do with my customs.
And you do.
And if I would not attempt to do a Lowlight custom because I could not make a better figure than this.
Unless you made a later version of Lowlight that was
which I do so
much more exciting.
I do plan on doing a 91 version of Lowlight.
Excellent. And it will be more exciting.
I just haven't had the time or the I just got to fit it. I need $500 that I can drop at Marauder Task Force for.
And also, well, I was going to say you need more time, but honestly, you at this point just pump out customs in a few hours, so you're good. Slight exaggeration, folks. Slight exaggeration.
Not much though.
Um,
So the low light is probably one of the all-time favorite figures from any line, just due to the amount of accessories that he has, just due to how much they've improved the original figure. I can kind of see where JD's coming from, but again, there was a little mistake to that particular figure for me as a kid because I didn't have it. I didn't get it. The one that I got was beat up, and I never did see it in the store. Never had one when I was a kid. So there was and I wanted it pretty badly, but it was a fantastic figure. So that was, again, we're doing this off of yojo.com. Thanks to them for letting us use their website. That was pretty much all the Joes that I had picked. The 2011.
I'm not. Hang on. See, now I'm not done yet. Hang on.
I was going to go into the Cobras.
Oh, okay. Hang on. No, there's one I want to mention. This thing is fucking obscure as all hell. There were a few vehicles that were released in the Pursuit of Cobra line that did not get a wide distribution for whatever reason. The big box retailers did not order a lot of them. They're smaller vehicles, like Skyhawk scale vehicles. There was one in particular. The submarine is seen in the Rise of Cobra on screen. It's a much bigger submarine in the movie that holds two pilots. The toy version is about half the size, and it holds one pilot. But the pilot is a new character named, was it Icebreaker?
Ice Storm.
Ice Storm, excuse me. Yeah, Ice Storm.
The Zoom focuses on whoever's talking, so I'm going to speak here for a second just to show what everybody show what JD's talking about. Here's Ice Storm right here.
Yeah.
Here is what is the sub called? Polar Shark.
Yeah,
it's called a shark. Ha ha.
Yeah.
But you hate
still cool sub.
But I have. Didn't I give there? Yo Joe lists these as Ross exclusives because these didn't make it to retail.
Yeah. They were they were not ordered by Walmart and Target and Toys R Us. I think it was just too late in the line.
These are Rise of Cobra. I mean, this is from the Rise of Cobra line. We should be talking about this in the Rise of Cobra.
Right, that's what I mean. They were not distributed to the big box stores because it was the end of the line. So they ended up being Rise of Cobra vehicles in Rise of Cobra packaging, but for all intents and purposes, I see them as Pursuit of Cobra vehicles.
Well, you're wrong, but that's okay.
Well, no, the figures included, I think, Ice Storm, I think he really fits. He doesn't have all the gear and stuff. He's a pilot. They don't usually have a lot of gear.
Right.
But the look of him was really detailed. The paint job was really detailed. And I honestly wish that he had gotten a carded release. He did end up getting a second version through the club, through a convention. Random, really random.
The mold did get a carded release as a doc.
Well, yeah, it did. But that's hardly the same thing. Hardly in the same league. I mean, great figure. I agree. But I feel like Ice Storm, again, I love new characters in the line. And Ice Storm, I feel like, again, Rise of Cobra on the package, I don't care. I always saw him because of when it was released as Pursuit of Cobra. And it's one of my favorites of that year. Just solely based on the new character thing, but I love the look of him. There wasn't anything like that in the rest of the Joe line. So he gets my vote.
Fair enough. There was a couple of drivers from that line, and I have them both, that didn't get released.
Sandstorm in that line, he had the Ram cycle.
Yeah, no, that wasn't one of them. The Volcano Viper.
Oh,
It came
yeah.
with the mole pod, which was pretty cool. The mole pod sucked ass, but the
Mole pod was a nifty idea that was just a horrifically bad toy.
I'm pretty sure I have that Volcano Viper somewhere, but I don't know where. Yeah, I know I have a Volcano Viper. I just don't know where he's at. Basically, it's the Hazard Viper. It's uh-oh, are we frozen here? Oh no, you're just looking at something. All right.
I might be texting somebody who's very special.
All right. Put it away for like 5 minutes, can you?
Oh my God. You're looking through all your toys over there, not making for compelling podcasting-ish. That's all right.
No, I'm trying to.
Oh, that's
I'm having a conversation with somebody else. From that same line is the Star Viper, which I thought was a fantastic update. It came with the Sand Serpent, which was a repaint of the
Rise of Cobra Night Raven,
which was a shitty toy. I had one. I got two. I was going to keep one in the box, but I love the design on the Star Viper.
I love the helmet. It looks like an Iron Grenadier's vehicle stuck on a guy's head. I love it.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. It does.
It's not at all practical,
no.
But it's also not at all deniable that it's friggin' badass looking. So I could not give a crap less about the rest of the figure, but I love that helmet. It's ridiculous. I love it.
And I know I have a Volcano Viper because I bought a couple of them, but I don't know where they're at.
I don't have one. I bought the first mole pod. It sucked. With the Terra Viper, which sucked.
So that was all of the Joes. I know I have a Volcano Viper. That's going to bother me. It's probably still in. I haven't put it on my deck yet. So that was kind of the Joes. Again, they've got them separated by Joes and then by Cobras. So the first one is the first one in the line for the Pursuit of Cobra figures, and that's the Cobra Shock Trooper. To me, this is a fantastic update of nothing. I mean, originally, this is the first version of the Cobra Shock Trooper. However, I think it makes a good update of just the Cobra Trooper in general. It comes with a removable helmet, removable gas mask. He's got a riot shield. He's got a taser. He's got a interesting configuration of an AK-47. He's got a sledgehammer. He's got like this 2-stage baton. Comes just a ton of gear. The sculpt on it is second to none. The plate carrier body armor vest is the best, hands down, best sculpted plate carrier they have ever in any line I have ever seen. Is the most realistic and just the most phenomenal piece of equipment for customs ever.
The Steel Brigade figure used that vest and in green, and I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, it's friggin' cool. Shock Trooper for me, a lot like Lowlight. I don't think it's exciting, but it's not supposed to be. It's a badass looking urban assault trooper, and who can argue with it?
Yeah.
It definitely belongs on a best of 2011 list.
It's got a radio that plugs into the back. I don't have all the gear on this guy. And it had one other feature that I was going to mention, and I forgot what it was. Unfortunately. Goggles. I think it came with goggles on the helmet.
Yeah, it did. Did it have a gas mask with him? I like that.
Yeah, mine's got the gas mask on right now.
Yeah, see.
And then the head, which I've got right here, is a balaclava. This is the best sculpted head with a balaclava ever. I used this. I must have bought 30 of this figure for customs. I mean, I've got the gear for these guys coming out the ass because I've used the...
He's not kidding, folks. Well, maybe the ass part, but he's not kidding about how much of the quantity of it. He does. He's got a lot of it.
Yeah, I must have bought 30 of that figure. They are just that awesome of a figure. The next figure on that is right next to it, and wasn't a big fan of this. I had one when I was a kid, but it just didn't do anything for me. But the update in the Pursuit of Cobra line was amazing, simply because they took the time to add some articulation, the equipment that he came with, which was pretty cool. But for me, what did it was the vacuum metal head on the Cobra Viper.
Uh-huh. I had 8 of these Vipers. It was a cool update to the original Viper that
I sent you 4 of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I had 4 that I bought from the stores. And then he sent me some. I still have them. I've never army built a Viper, like a Cobra, the original Cobra Viper. I've never army built even the repaints. So I did squad build these. I can't dispute that. They took all the elements that made the Cobra Viper cool. They back metalized his head and made him look like a kick-ass trooper, and I can vote for that one too.
You know, and I've got one for us. I waited on with bated breath for this one because growing up in Colorado in the mountains, I had two figures that I really liked and were go-to figures as a kid. And that was Alpine and Rock Viper. These two were friggin' hated enemies. I mean, they hated each other. You know, I never army built these guys, so a lot of these guys were unique characters for me. And I loved the version 1, the vintage Rock Viper. It was an awesome figure. It kind of had wonky color scheme, but it wasn't obnoxious. It was still a viable color scheme to me.
It wasn't wonky. It was different, but he's subtle, and that version you're talking about is also subtle. I missed the head with the mustache, I admit.
Yeah. So when this is not a pick, this is definitely a goddamn it. When we got the Pursuit of Cobra Rock Viper, I was sorely disappointed. I absolutely hate that figure. I hate everything about it.
It's they tried. I can see what they were trying to do.
They phoned that one in.
I don't
for the updates that they did on Beachhead and Recondo. I expected some sort of fantastic update on the Rock Viper, and they let me down hard.
Well, yeah, considering the coolness of things like, I don't know, the Shock Viper or the Shock Trooper that we were just talking about, and the Jungle Viper and stuff. Yeah, they could have given us an amazing update to the Rock Viper. They didn't. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's awful, but I don't think
it's not horrible. No.
I mean, as a toy itself, if you didn't even realize that it was based on a real American hero figure that was iconic, kind of, maybe you wouldn't know the difference. I don't find it particularly, as a toy, I don't find it exciting, but as an update to the Rock Viper, I think they fell down pretty much every way they could have.
Agreed.
The only thing really about it that's great for the Rock Viper is, well, they kept the color scheme. I don't think it works at all. Otherwise, I think it's yeah, you're right. They phoned it in. That's not a well done update. Not even a little bit.
No. I think one of the next ones that I am going to pick, just kind of in the reversed aspect of that, is, you know, here is a cool update that just, you just look at it and you go, wow, what is that? Why? I don't know what it is or why it is that, but I like it. And that is the Pursuit of Cobra Iron Grenadier.
Oh yeah. Lots of what the fuck, but lots of, wow, that's really cool.
Comes with the heavy body armor, comes with the aliens Steadicam gun, clip-on body armor on the legs, assault or the like minigun ammo backpack comes with an ammo belt strip that plugs into the gun and to the backpack, and just the color scheme did not work for me here. And then I painted it up in Iron Grenadier colors, and it takes a figure that was fantastic to begin with, and it really makes it great there.
Yeah, that Iron Grenadier did not make a whole lot of sense in terms of.
I don't think I have one.
Like, I'm not crazy about Iron Grenadiers wearing gray, but whatever. It's an impressive piece of toy engineering, and that, yeah, I can't dispute that. It's friggin' cool.
And as I had said, the Shock Trooper seemed like a nice version of the update of the original Cobra Trooper. They did do did do an update of the Cobra Trooper in this line.
They did, but it doesn't have the magic that the the Shock Trooper did.
No,
I think the Shock Trooper made a better Cobra Trooper a cooler Cobra Trooper than the Cobra Trooper they made.
I'll give you that, but that Cobra Trooper uses the same body sculpt and comes with that pistol with the silencers. I did not like the harness, but it comes with the removable helmet. It came with removable knee pads. Came with barbed wire. Compared to the original, I think it's a phenomenal update. This is what I liked about the Pursuit of Cobra line in general, is they took some of our favorite figures and they rubbed just a little bit of nostalgia in it and a little bit of magic, and here is this fantastic figure. I will agree that it is not as impressive as that Cobra Shock Viper. However, compared to the original Cobra Trooper, holy shit, that is a beautiful figure.
Yeah. For Pursuit of Cobra,
as much as I harp on and I fucking hate Hasbro for their distribution, I did not have much problem getting Cobra Shock Troopers, and I did not have much problem getting Cobra Vipers, and I did not have much problem getting Cobra Troopers to Army build. They sent these out in fantastic numbers that were easy to find. Not all the time easy to find, but I wasn't going, God damn it, why can't I find a Cobra Trooper? Like everybody right now trying to get the G.I. Joe classified Cobra Trooper.
For Pursuit of Cobra, I have one other choice, and it's a character, and it was amazing. I love that figure. It's a character. He's a brand new character. He's not an army builder. Shadow Tracker. That dude is plain scary.
Why am I not seeing that?
From head,
I didn't scroll over far enough.
Yeah, from head to toe, the Shadow Tracker character defines amazing. I've got mine right here.
I don't think I still have mine. I think I've customized mine.
Next to the Steel Brigade that year, this is my favorite. Shadow Tracker. He's got a translucent yellow mask. If you take it off, there's like a skull face underneath it, but the eyes are painted in. But the head sculpt, he's got these amazingly sculpted dreadlocks. He's definitely, they called him Shadow Tracker. He's definitely like a jungle specialist. He's definitely Cobra's answer to Recondo easily. But dude's scary looking. The dude is just flat out scary looking. Like,
you know who I saw this when I saw this figure? You know who I thought of?
Who's that?
Skullbuster, the Range Viper.
Oh yeah.
Leader. And I used that head. I used that particular head. Actually, I think I just used the hair. I took the hair off and put it on a skull head. I think I'd have to look. I'd have to double check. But I used that head for my Skullbuster custom. I loved that figure. It had the It came with a ton of gear. It came with that really
Yes,
awesome
it did.
compound bow. It came with quiver, which
Even the camo pattern is completely different and more elaborate than camo they usually do, but
yeah,
it's realistic, yet it's not like US made camo, but it's iconic look. It's like he's not gonna have a problem blending in. The vest is real padded. It's really cool. I have seen comparisons that people have made that they say it's kind of, again, fitting in with the Pursuit of Cobra, that it looks like what the Predator creature from the movie Predator would look like if it was human. And I can see it. This guy defines, you're not going to see me coming in the jungle. You're dead before you ever what killed you. And this is and on top of that, because he's so friggin' cool, he actually ended up on my list of favorite Cobra characters, because I think he's easily cool enough to have been released in any era of the Joe line.
Oh, you know what? Shit, I need to write. Ooh, huh.
What's happening here?
Well, we had planned on doing a podcast when I get into quarantine, which is the end of the month, because we're going to do another customizing challenge.
Yes.
That's going to be one of my picks.
Well, how do I top this? How do you top it?
That is the fucking challenge right there, is to do an O-ring version of Shadow Tracker. I got to put that on the list. I need to start a list. But yeah, that's I don't want to start ruining that show because I haven't picked all my figures yet. But that is going to go on the fucking.
Well,
list. This figure was awesome. He came with not one, not two, not three, but 5 different types of knives. He came with a net that was functional, because the netting had a piece of string that ran through the edges and handles on the edge. So if you threw it over a figure and pulled on the strings, the net would collapse around the figure. It came with a bola. It came with a quiver of arrows, which had a detachable arrow.
Yeah. I lost that too, believe it or not.
I still have mine, but I think I used it on a custom. Which eventually the Storm Shadow would come with a hand with a notch in the middle, between the middle and the ring finger, which would hold that arrow in place.
It's like that. I just happen to have this Storm Shadow sitting here,
which is phenomenal. Because it'll hold psi like it's supposed to. I actually have that right here because this is my Red Ninja leader, and you can see him holding the psi.
Yeah. I have this Storm Shadow here because this is my favorite figure of Storm Shadow they've ever made, and I had it set up. I wanted to see what he would look like with the 25th Red Ninjas yesterday, just to see. You know what? They don't fit very well with him, but I don't care. I still love them.
I missed that version of Storm Shadow. I did not get one of those.
I did, and I'm glad that I did, because wow, don't try to buy one now.
No, they're stupid insane. No, I was looking and I did not get one of those because the 50th anniversary figures never made it to my Toys R Us.
I saw them once, maybe twice, but yeah, I got one.
The few 50th anniversary figures that I have in my collection came from JD. He got me a Heat Viper and he got me a Saw Viper.
Oh, that's right, I did. I had the two packs. I didn't particularly need what they came with. I just sent them to him because I think the Heat Viper came with a green and tan repaint of blowtorch.
You're right.
Yeah, I bought that set for the green and tan. Practically colored blowtorch, so he didn't look like a fucking neon highlighter marketer. And I believe the Saw Viper was released. I don't know who it was released with, but whatever it was, I like the figure. The what?
That one might have come in a 3-pack.
Oh, maybe. I like the figure, but not enough. Brian was a bigger Saw Viper fan, so I do believe that I sent it to him because those were the ones he wanted. And I'm like, I don't particularly need them, so I sent them to Brian so that he did not have to track those sets down. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean,
that's the one that you gave me.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, it's brighter than I remember. He's a nifty update to the Saw Viper.
He
I
really
just didn't particularly need one, but that is not to say that it does not deserve praise because it does. I knew that Brian wanted one, and he was going
and
to have
there's the
trouble.
Heat Viper you sent me.
Yep. Fantastic update to a shite figure. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I got one more for Pursuit of Cobra.
oh, good. 'Cause I'm out. So,
All right, this is the last one I got for Pursuit of Cobra.
I mean, lots of great stuff. I'm out of things to pick that were favorites. So, yeah.
Techno Viper.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, he's 30th anniversary.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you're right.
saving him.
Never mind. Stop. Yeah.
Cut it. Edit. Good thing you can do that.
I'm not going to, but we'll pretend that we did.
Yeah. Because I almost mentioned a certain one that I just overpaid for, and I'm happy. So, yeah, we'll save him for next episode.
Yep.
So
that's the Pursuit of Cobra. Unfortunately, the line did not last very long. I mean,
that's because toy companies nowadays, they have ADD. They don't waves come out, but the series doesn't last more than 2 years before they're on to the next thing. So
the distribution, as I said, wasn't too bad on this, but it was
but it was definitely not a failing of sales numbers or anything. It was just a matter of they had a line to follow up Rise of Cobra, and they followed it through until their planned end, and they just decided not to pursue it any further.
And I think part of the problem with that was there was still Pursuit of Cobra figures still peg warming. So when these figures came out, there wasn't a place for them because the Pursuit of Cobra, Rise of Cobra figures were still on the Rise of Cobra movie figures were still on the pegs.
That's true. In a lot of cases with the Rise of Cobra, I don't think it was so much a commentary on the figure itself as the sheer volume of stuff that was shipped, because the stores ordered, because there's a live action movie, the stores are going to order a ton of them. They got a bunch of them. Not everything fits on the pegs if they ship them in heavy enough numbers.
And then I don't know where his backpack is. That's not good. They may have just customized it. One that got released in a different color scheme, but a bunch of us got off of eBay, is the Pursuit of Cobra Ripcord.
Yeah. I was going to mention him, but because he was just outright unreleased, I wasn't sure. But if we're going with that, then he goes on my list for 2010. That figure is awesome from head to toe. Yeah. They did end up releasing the figure with a masked head, and they called it Skydive.
Yeah, and a different color scheme.
Yeah, in a different color scheme. But I mean, so the figure is still great as is, but it's not as cool as that ripcord that they did not release. There were the Arnold Vosloo head for Zartan that didn't get released. It was actually one of a few different things that went unreleased for.
And I do have a complete one here. I was afraid that was one that I'd lost all the gear to, but here is one that is complete.
Yes, I still have one of those too. I bought the pre-production versions when they were cheap on eBay, and that one. I don't think there's an argument. I think that is one of my favorite Pursuit of Cobra figures overall, but yeah, I wasn't sure if we were breaching that particular the unreleased range, but I'm glad that we did.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that we kind of did, because the Volcano Viper, while JD was talking about some of the figures that came in that with vehicles that only made it into the Ross, and that's how Yo Joe has them, is listed as Ross exclusives, because he was talking about that Polar Shark. That Volcano Viper, the only reason I have one is because it was released as a pre-production figure, in that there was a Zartan, there was a Jungle Duke, there was that Ripcord, and then that Zartan. I think those were the 4 figures. There may have been a 5th one that I can't remember.
There was an Arctic Duke that did not see release until much, much later. The Arctic Duke, as it was, and the mold, the figure itself did not see a release until a G.I. Joe Collectors Club subscription figure much, much later.
It did not come with the coat.
No, you're right. The pre-production version did not include the planned coat.
It did come with the snowboard because I used the snowboard on my Ice Viper custom.
Ice Viper. Yeah, for whatever reason, that snow version of Duke just never ended up released in any form. I don't know. But I think of all the ones that they put on there, I think that one was the smallest in terms of the loss that was felt.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because that ripcord was fantastic, and that Zartan was amazing. I'm glad that Zartan eventually did see a retail release, even with a different head.
Yep.
And then the Volcano Viper was that particular, and I know I have like 3 of them, and I don't know, they must still be in cases somewhere, and I just haven't set them up yet. But I would have liked to have shown you one of those, but I don't have it right now. So I know I have one, but just not right here. So that's about it for Pursuit of Cobra. Let me look here. There is one more figure that I will mention, just specific for the accessories, because it ended up. We've talked about the Pimp Daddy Destro before. There is another version of Destro that ended up getting a catchy nickname because of the accessory it came with. And that was
Moneybags Destro. Yeah.
And it was a shitty colored Destro figure. It was basically a version of, essentially, it was that Iron Grenadier figure.
Yeah. But
just recolored with the Destro head. But he came with a briefcase that had recognizable money in it. He had dollars, euros, and pounds.
They had tampagraphs on each one. Yeah, so they were tiny scale, but they were realistic details. So you did the real world money was easily recognizable on these itty bitty toy accessories. That's impressive. The rest of that figure the rest of that figure was easily forgettable.
The minigun was pretty cool, but
it's still the coolest thing about that Destro being that briefcase with the money. That briefcase with the money got repainted and the money got re-released with San Diego Comic-Con set with Shockwave as the Hiss tank and the God damn it, the construction Decepticons.
Constructed Devastator.
Yeah, Devastator. There was a battle android trooper. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's got the Decepticon logo on the briefcase.
I didn't think that had money. I thought it had something else in it.
I think.
Oh no, it sure does. Look at that.
Yeah, it's got the money.
There you go.
Yep. Stacks and packs of recognizable real world money.
I don't know that I've ever opened that briefcase before.
That's one of my favorite things about that Destro. But that
he's missing an
that set had the 25th Battle Android Trooper that they repainted no less than 85 times in the line, but it had it in the neon green and purple. There we go. The Decepticon Constructicons.
Yeah, the Devastator. Devastator, and I did a custom of this as well.
Yeah,
with different interchangeable arms. They gave him like a bulldozer blade. But that's the Constructicon bat.
So while that is not a Pursuit of Cobra release, that is one of the coolest set of exclusives ever. I am biased because the Cobra Hiss tank was Shockwave, but whatever. Shit is badass. including it. But yeah, you get the Euros and the yeah.
There we
I
go.
fucking love it.
So there is the
Love it.
Shockwave Hiss Tank. I actually have 2 of them.
I have one. I love it. 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 Love it. That set was awesome. Not Pursuit of Cobra, but damn it, if you have a chance to buy one for less than it would cost for you to sell your organs on the black market, you absolutely should.
Yeah, because I got lucky and got all the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive sets from HasbroToyStore.com when they came out. And then I have 2 of the Shockwave Hiss tanks. I had somebody sell me the box and the Hiss tank for $60.
There you go.
You couldn't get the box for $60 nowadays, I don't think.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, so I still have an extra box from that release, and then and that set also came with no, that was a different set. Never mind. Sorry. Disregard. Came with
I'm eating candy corn, folks.
Well, Mom gave me candy corn Sunday that that has caramel. That's caramel flavored candy corn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't tell her, but I threw the bag away because I did not need to eat a whole friggin' bag of candy corn by myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Emily, not a big fan, is she?
No. So I was not going to eat a pound of candy corn. Like, 5 years ago that wouldn't have been a problem, but now not so much.
I wouldn't be able to do that because it hurts my fucking teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so folks, Pursuit of Cobra, you're gonna pay out the ass if you don't have these things right now if you want them. But since we do, or since we did, even if I don't currently, there's a lot to celebrate with that line.
I think aside from the Real American Hero, which is the toy line that I grew up with, obviously, this is my favorite line of G.I. Joe. Removing a Real American Hero because it is, it's such a long line. It is the basis for G.I. Joe as we describe it, which is the 4-inch, 3 3/4 inch, 1/18 scale, whatever measurement you want to use. Take a Real American Hero line aside, all the lines that have come out since Pursuit of Cobra, hands down, my favorite line of G.I. Joes. The reimagination that they did with these figures, some of these figures, is amazing. The new characters that they introduced is phenomenal. The Shadow Tracker is a good example of that. They spared no expense in sculpting, in accessories, in paint jobs.
And engineering, ingenuity that they put into it. They stretched their creativity and their ambition with the line to a limit that rarely do we get to see them do with G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I don't recall they've had distribution problems with every toy line and every wave that they've tried to put out, but they were not as pronounced in in this. There were some figures that were hard to get. The last wave, the Crazy Legs, was an insanely hard figure to get. I got mine.
Fourth wave syndrome.
Yep, fourth wave syndrome. Because they send so much stuff out. They send it in weird quantities. So, you got 20 Snake Eyes, you got 20 Storm Shadows, you've got 1 Recondo. Everybody wants the Recondo, as an example. And then you clog the pegs with, because they do such weird case loads that
They'll do.
Yeah, that stuff's just gonna sit because it's not evenly. It doesn't come out in even numbers.
In the new retro stuff, Scarlet, Roadblock, Destro. Of course, Scarlet's only 1 in a case. Of course she is.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I haven't paid attention to that. Hey, if you see a Destro, would you get one of those for me? Because I don't have that Destro.
Yeah, because there's a chance I'm going to see. Sure, I will, but yeah, there's a chance I might see. Dude, my Walmart does not have G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe might as well be a non-existent toy line at my Walmart. not only is the other retro stuff not there, when I got Destro and Scarlet from the classified line, that was the absolute last time I ever saw a G.I. Joe at that Walmart. So if I happen to see a Destro, sure, but do not get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Walmart sucks. But yeah, the Roadblock, Destro, Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet's one to a case because of course she is.
Now's may not be a bad time to just throw your opinions out. We've seen pictures of these. We obviously do not have them in hand yet.
No, I haven't even seen great pictures of them.
I've seen decent pictures of them. I'm not impressed with the Scarlet figure at all.
No, neither am I, but it's better than the other versions they put out in the I'm glad that they didn't use the 25th Scarlet as the retro release, because that just would have been criminally bad. So
I don't particularly care for the sculpt. It seems like somebody just like spackled on sculpting putty, and it doesn't have a lot of detail to it.
It's not a great figure on its own. But if you look at Roadblock, Scarlet, and Destro from that wave, Destro's a re-release of the 50th version.
Yeah.
From
which looks like a nice Destro, and I've seen people say that they feel that is the best version of Destro ever.
Oh, it absolutely is. I have one. This is basically slightly repainted, gray highlights instead of all black and then red, but they're not Scarlet and Roadblock are not great figures as they are, but when you compare the effort put into those two figures plus Destro compared to the first wave, which is just straight up re-releases with minor paint differences, they are eminently satisfying in comparison.
Yeah. The Roadblock, I was kind of hoping that they would use the retaliation buck. Obviously they're not going to use the rock head sculpt for it, which makes sense. But I really, really, really like the retaliation body for that figure because it is bigger, it is bulkier, and is phenomenal fodder for customs.
What I was hoping it was going to be was the figure subscription service Tiger Force Roadblock they did was a phenomenal Roadblock figure. I was hoping it was going to be that repainted, but it wasn't. I do have the Tiger Force version from the club because I really love that figure. I don't know why it's not that version, but
I didn't. Okay. All I saw was Tiger Force color scheme and turned off. I don't even know what parts choice they used to make that. So I can't speak to that because I detest Tiger Force.
Well, me too, mostly, but Roadblock and Duke from Tiger Force, even when I was a kid, no. Roadblock, Duke, and Recondo, the Tiger Force versions, I don't know why. They're ugly, mostly.
Yeah.
But they always struck my fancy. I always liked those color schemes. I can't explain it, but yeah.
No. But there you go. That's the Pursuit of Cobra line. Phenomenal figures. Not a lot of them because the line didn't go for more than 2 years. Really hard to get a hold of now for any reasonable amount of money.
And they're super great figures.
Yeah.
And so people are going to pay through the nose if they want them now. It sucks if you were late to the party because holy shit, you missed a lot.
Yeah, you missed a lot of cool figures. Vehicles, did they do a lot of vehicles for the Pursuit of Cobra line? It seemed like there was a
Hiss tank.
Yeah, the Hiss tank, which was pretty cool.
There was the Doom cycle with a dreadnought named Storm Cloud.
I don't remember. I was going to mention Trike. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if there were other vehicles. So I don't know. I ended up with the Hiss tank because Hiss tank. But I don't know.
Not in the 2011. I'm looking at Yo-Joe. So the 2011 did not come with vehicles
Unless you count, like I do, the Rise of Cobra stuff that got released way after Rise of Cobra.
Here we go. Pursuit of Cobra drivers. We've got Clutch, which came with the Jungle Assault Vamp, which was actually a pretty cool vehicle, which got repainted a bunch of times. It's basically an up armor.
I had the version that came with the Steel Brigade Delta figure.
That was a nice figure. We got Kickstart, which came with the Steel Marauder. What the fuck is a Steel Marauder?
It was one of those terrible mechs that they made.
Yeah.
Those absolute shit mechs. Because the Cyber Viper came with the Cobra shit mech.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. And then you've already mentioned Night Fox that came with the Striker, which I skipped because, God, I'm sick of seeing Night Strikers.
Yep. I bought it for the pilot.
The Tomahawk. Oh, no. Wait. Ghost Hawk. Tomahawk came with the Ghost Hawk, which was
it's
a souped up version of the Skyhawk.
Yeah, it's a Skyhawk with a bunch of better parts on it, but it's a Skyhawk.
I ended up getting one of those when I was out visiting you.
Yeah, I've never cared about the Skyhawk. I still don't.
I have a certain nostalgia for it because that vehicle featured prominently in the very first issue of G.I. Joe comic book that I got.
There you go.
Which was number 23.
And I have no particular ties to it because I did not care about the Skyhawk when I was a kid. I do not care about the Skyhawk as an adult.
And then the last figure was Whiteout, and he came with the Wolfhound, which was
the Snowcat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I have that somewhere.
It's not a convincing version of Whiteout. The Snowcat has gotten many versions, like the Striker, many versions over the years. So great vehicle that turns meh from too many releases.
And I didn't like the spring-loaded feature on the missile launcher on the top.
Well, that's never a hit with collectors who like cool things. But
so that's your vehicles for Pursuit of Cobra. They didn't really.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on.
Cobra had some. Let's see here. Because Firefly came with. I'm sorry. Alley Viper came with the Cobra Rage.
Oh, I forgot they made a. It's not a repaint.
I remember the Cobra Rage. I have one. I think I ended up tearing it apart for customs and didn't finish it. I was at Walmart one time, and they had a Cobra Rage, and JD had been looking for it, and I was texting JD, and I had picked it up, and I was going to get it for him, and I was waiting for him to respond to me whether he wanted me to pick it up for him or not, and I set it down, and I went around the aisle, and JD had texted me back and said, yeah, go ahead and get it for me. I came back around, and it was gone.
I have absolutely no memory of this. So much as I want to say, oh, that was tragedy, I don't even remember it, nor did I remember that there was a Cobra Rage, because the Rage that they made was not a repaint of the original.
No,
it was a
retool.
Yeah, it was a retooling, and it was a well-done retooling, but I honestly just forgot that ever existed.
The Cobra Deviant, which was the Cobra Mech, which was not very impressive.
It was, you mispronounced shit as not very impressive. Yeah, we'll just go with big old pile of mechanical bullshit.
Then there was the Cobra Ice Cutter.
Oh, I have one of them. That's why I thought that his name was Icebreaker. It was the Cobra Ice Cutter vehicle. I have one of those. It's ridiculous.
I've never held it in person. I've seen it in stores and passed on it because it looked ridiculous.
Bought it. It's weird. I've never been able to decide if I even like it or not, but I don't hate it. So, yeah.
And then, Storm Rider is the name of the Dreadnought that came with the Doom Cycle.
Oh, that's right. Riders on the Storm, and really great song for a meh toy.
Really. So there was with any G.I. Joe line, there's awesome vehicles and then there's shit vehicles. They managed to do that with the amount of with the few vehicles that they put out. They managed to hit that whole fucking spectrum. There's a couple right in the middle. There's a couple right on the end, on both ends.
Yep, Hasbro, you're constantly baffling and sometimes impressing and usually just irritating us.
And they did that very well with this line because once we were like, fucking A, this is awesome. I love it. It's G.I. Joe Nirvana. Canceled.
Yeah, bye.
Then we moved into the Retaliation line, which was to support the movie, and all the toy companies seem to be on this kick to release the toys before the movie comes out. And what happened there was the toys came out, and G.I. Joe Retaliation had to go into reshoots, so it ended up being delayed for
not reshoots. They delayed the movie by 9 months for a 3D release. They converted. Right. They were going to convert the movie after the movie as filmed. They were going to do a post 3D conversion. They delayed the movie until release of March the following year. The toys shipped anyway in 2012.
Yes.
And so the first wave had saturated the stores with a movie that would not be out for a while. And by the time the toys were shipping again for the movie the following year, the same Wave 1 figures, the exact same Wave 1 figures, vehicles were released again, and they had already saturated. They peg warmed like no other, because for a year most the interested collectors had already had the exact same. I feel like they should have been able to modify the release schedule to not put most of that out, or at least redistribute it into different waves to put the later stuff out earlier, and it would have gotten more numbers out there, but it wasn't. And honestly, looking back at that post-conversion 3D Renaissance, wow, they should have just put that damn movie out in the first place and just had it make its money or not.
Yeah,
it was a victim of a trend that did not last all that much. Nope.
So there you go. That's our take on the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra line, figures and vehicles. Again, if you missed out on this, man, sorry. Because I hope you either got a bunch of kids to sell into slavery, or some kidney that you're not using, and that's only going to get you maybe 1 or 2 figures.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's all we got for this episode. Stay tuned for more episodes of General Geekery, because JD and I are indeed going to do another customizing challenge. We will be picking 6 or 7 figures from the existing characters or figures. So that is the whole G.I. Joe mythos from any line of G.I. Joe, all the way from A Real American Hero, all the way through Retaliation, or even Classified for that matter. The comic books and the cartoons are fair game for this. If there's a figure, if there's a character that is in the G.I. Joe mythos, it is fair game. JD will pick 6 or 7. I will pick 6 or 7. We will not tell each other or you which ones we pick. JD will do his customs in the traditional O-ring style, and I will do mine in the more modern new sculpt style.
And as soon as we put that, as we record that, I won't remember anything that he nominated for me, so I'll have to listen to the show to find out.
I had to do the same thing.
Yep. So my memory is shite for short-term anything nowadays.
We recorded that show while I was in Houston last time for quarantine, so that's what we're going to do this time. I will be leaving probably on the 29th or 30th. I think my first day of quarantine is on the 30th, so I'll probably have to leave on the 29th. I listened to it like the next day to decide which figures to pick. So yeah, I had to listen to the show again myself to decide which figures I wanted to pick. But we are going to do the second customizing challenge. Unfortunately, we probably will not be in the same place to do the unveiling like we were.
We definitely will not be. So
We
Yeah,
thank
that sounds
everybody for watching the live streams that we did while we were together.
I'm
They got
so
it
glad that you people had so little to do with your time that you actually tuned into that.
during Joe Fest, no less. We had a lot of people tune into that and watch us do the unveiling for the customizing challenge. Those went up to the YouTube channel, which is where you're watching this now. But we recorded those on my customizing Facebook page, and we had a lot of people tune into that. So we thank everybody that watched.
Yes, I'm grateful that we got views and comments, and I mean I appreciate all of our listeners. I really truly do. I just, when it comes to like those live streams, I tried to watch it after the fact. I'm like, all right, I gave it 10 minutes. I'm good. But I mean, I'm just
I tried to
glad.
rewatch the live stream of us customizing it. It didn't work.
Yeah,
However,
that's
I
what I'm
did
talking
watch.
about. That just. Ugh.
I did rewatch the live stream of us doing the unveil of the custom.
Yeah, that one was good. But the live stream customizing we did. Thank you for everybody who watched it. I don't know how you did, but I'm glad that you did.
We were just, that was the weekend of the Joe Fest. A lot of people were afraid to go to that just due to the coronavirus, which kind of was us. So we kind of wanted to do like a virtual something so that people that didn't go had something else to do, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. It didn't work out as well as I would have liked to, but that's because we didn't plan it.
Nope.
Which we never. But I don't think I have anything else for this particular episode.
I just want to say, I forgot. Whatever. Next episode, perhaps. Good night, everybody.
Next episode,
thank you,
because it's coming soon. All right, thanks for watching, and all those fun social media things. Like the video, share the video, comment below on what your favorite Pursuit of Cobra figures were. Were there any that you did not like? Were there any that you want that you don't have? Anything, any topic related to Pursuit of Cobra line, put those in the comments below. I do try and answer all comments. I don't always get to them, but I do try. And then, of course, subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.